But subsequently, when a space was made, why didn't they alert the red zone to bring Salim up for intubation to be done?
But what really happened when the health minister visited the TTH or the Tamale Teaching Hospital to ask a question when a young gentleman lost his life on the 19th of April 2025? The Tamale Teaching Hospital has released a statement. Ghana Medical Association has also released a statement about the loss of this young gentleman's life on the 19th of April 2025. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has fired the CEO of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. What actually happened? What really happened for the CEO to be fired? What happened for the minister to pay a surprise visit to the teaching hospital Tamale? What actually is the problem?
It's not a cesarean session. Now, let me even pretend, or let me even admit that, Robicon, I am ignorant about the procedure, right? Are we saying we have only one anesthetist at the Tamale Teaching Hospital?
No, I don't think that will be possible.
So couldn't we have called one to come and attend to Salim? Is it because an anesthetist was not there, or there was no bed? Because I went and confirmed that there was a bed.
There is more to this. Here is DF channel. Like, follow my page if you're first time coming across DF channel. So this has led a lot of things. People are calling for the health minister to also be fired as the CEO of the Tamale Teaching Hospital has been fired. Let's enter into this particular matter now. If you go online, the Honorable Minta Akando is trending. The TTA, the Tamale Teaching Hospital is trending. Why? A young guy lost his life due to inadequate facility, because this guy was supposed to put on ventilation, and I think on arriving, not even a bed for the guy. So in the process, this guy on the 19th lost his life. Then people are calling and saying, when you go to the TTH, Tamale Teaching Hospital, there are a lot of carelessness, a lot of recklessness, a lot of I don't care acting. This is what contributed to this particular guy losing his life.
The only response they got was that there was no bed. Something Dr. Valentine in the video confirmed to the minister.
Yeah, I think we have the video, so I'm
Yes.
sure Bernard will show. Yeah.
That he called and the ward claimed there was no bed. Now question, you can't trust human being 100%. Some come to the hospital, they just want to be resting. Some medical officers, some nurses, etc. And you see, one point we must draw is that every profession deserves, or professional deserve respect. Journalists deserve respect. Lecturer deserve respect. The president of the Republic of Ghana deserve respect. A nurse deserve respect. A doctor deserves same. In fact, a farmer deserves same. But none of them is beyond criticism.
Yeah.
Because in all facets of professions, we have the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh, you have people who misconduct themselves, yes.
So nobody is above criticism. That line must be drawn. Especially the teaching hospital mandate is to make sure we provide quality services to people and save lives. But there's a business aspect of it which we need to run and make sure you generate funds at the end of the day so you can be able to run some affairs within the facility. Now, this young man had difficulty breathing, and when I asked, the answer was that there was no bed at the intensive care unit where he was supposed to be moved to, so an intubation can be performed on him to survive. Then I took it upon myself to go confirm whether there was really a bed or not. When I walked up, I saw 6 health professionals. I couldn't tell whether all of them were doctors, but 2 were sitting on the right side and 4 were sitting in a cubicle. When they saw me, I am sure some of them know me. They stood up and asked me what I was doing at the intensive care unit. Then I told them, I have a son of mine who is battling for his life at the red zone of the accident and emergency ward. And when I came asking questions why they are not doing intubation with a ventilator, they said they don't have a ventilator. And the ventilator is at the ICU, a place where they called to request for a bed, and they were told there was no bed. But I can see visibly 2 empty beds standing there. I saw 4 beds, 2 were occupied and 2 were empty. So it means that the information that I received, or probably was given to Dr. Valentine, that they didn't have beds, turned out not to be true. Let's even agree, without even admitting that, as at the time he called them, they didn't have a bed. But subsequently, when a space was made, why didn't they alert the red zone to bring Salim up for intubation to be done? That was not done. Then one doctor said, oh, let me follow you and go and do assessment and see before we come back. Robicon, the young guy followed me. We came up, he did assessment of Salim and told me he want to go up so they can alert an anesthetist to perform the intubation. But I was also shocked at that, because emergency doctors and nurses can perform intubation with a ventilator. You don't need an anesthetist to do that, because that is not an operation. It's not a cesarean session. Now, let me even pretend, or let me even admit that, Robicon, I am ignorant about the procedure, right? Are we saying we have only one anesthetist at the Tamale Teaching Hospital?
No, I don't think that would be possible.
So couldn't we have called one to come and attend to Salim? Is it because an anesthetist was not there, or there was no bed? Because I went and confirmed that there was a bed. There were 2 beds, empty ones. So when I was leaving, and by the time I was called,
So before you even go ahead, in this instance, can we say they were slow or they were just negligent?
they were negligent. When I went up, they were sitting down comfortably, and the beds were 2. They were empty. So if you were called as a ward that we have a patient at red zone, and the patient is supposed to be on a ventilator, and it's after the time they called you, let's even assume after the time Valentine called, the beds were full. But later when you did at discharges and 2 beds were empty, you were supposed to call back at the ward and tell them that there are 2 empty beds, they can bring the patient up. Right, Robicon? Or better still, the ventilator is something that you can move. If you think that moving Salim to the top will be a problem, why not move the ventilator down? He was lying on a bed at the red zone. So if you don't have a bed, you can send the ventilator down, because the ventilator is movable. So why did we allow him to continue struggling there from morning to around 2, getting to 3 o'clock? So I had lost a brother. So I was going to the funeral when I was called. Then I had to cut it short and go to the hospital to check on Salim. So I told one of the nurses that now that I've gotten an assurance from the doctor, I will go back to the funeral to see how they will bury my brother. Then I come back and check on Salim immediately. And he followed me out and told me, doctor, in an hour, if we are not able to work on Salim, you lose your guy. So even the nurse, admittedly, he knows, or he knew, that without the ventilator, Salim would die. Then I asked him, so if the ventilator is on Salim, he will survive? He said yes. He will walk home healthy. So who was holding on to the ventilator? Robicon. Who was holding on to it?
So that's the part of the negligence
so
that led
when
to...
I was going, so when I was getting to the funeral grounds, then the same nurse called me and told me, Doc, your guy has given up the ghost. Salim is gone. That was how Salim died. Someone I met on Friday, expecting his call on Saturday, and on Sunday I was burying the person. Negligence completely. And the commentaries that were coming in fact, one professional told someone that the way I shared on social media, I was trying to incite people against the facility. And I said, no, people have their own experiences about the facility. Some people, we have wonderful guys. Like I was commenting, you saw my post yesterday about Dr. Valentine. I know what he does to people. I know that he uses his money sometimes to feed patients. Not only him. People bring their patients and they abandon the patient and run home. You have nurses and you have doctors who uses their own money to feed the patients until they recover and go back home.